Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
This is Hot 702.5.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
It's Christy J from the Chisholm Report. You're tuned in to Hot 702.5.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J. Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
Tune in now on hot7025fm.com.
I just want to know, do you like groove when get your groove?
I was going to ask you the same thing. I'm like, am I the only one bopping when this comes in? 'Cause Lord.
It is. It's a bop. Shout out to Remix LV for that. We appreciate you spilling the tea on the intro. We like it. We like it hot. We're about to remix it even more too, and it should be fun.
I want to be like talking over it, like yo.
Hey, thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Shady Ass Tea right here on hot7025fm.com. I am Fine Ass Icarice, and I am here with my cousin host, Sir. Sir, how you feeling?
I'm feeling fantastic.
Fantastic.
I'm ready to be here. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Every week I'm just happy.
I don't see you. You don't have your hair pressed out today or nothing.
I don't.
You're
have
not
my hair
shaking
pressed
the.
out. No, I'm not.
You're not shaking the.
I want to give them full afro. I'm gonna get a pick and like really give them a full.
Give them what it's supposed to give.
Yes. So look, real quick. It just made me think about what I thought about my afro. So yesterday, I was at the mall. I was at the Galleria with my son, and we were getting ice cream.
Okay.
And we were standing in line at the Pinkberry. So I mean, not ice cream, but I guess
that ice cream is way too sweet for anybody to be standing in line for.
So we standing in line at Pinkberry, and there's a black lady in front of us, and there's a couple behind us. So they helping a black lady, and they start helping a couple behind us. And I'm like, hey, excuse me. Y'all ain't helping me. And she was like, oh, no, she's helping you over there. And I'm like, no, she not. She helping her. And then the black lady in front of me was like, oh, okay. Everybody's acting like I was tripping, right? So I'm standing there with a big ass afro. I got my Black Power, the shirt with the black fist on. I got my Black Power fist on. I got my shades on, my Easy Elokes on. And I'm like, what's going on? She thought that because we was both black, we was together. Mm-mm. And so she thought skipping me was the right idea. I'm like, no, you skipped me. And then when I said you skipped, she acted like I was tripping. And then the people behind me act like I was tripping too. I'm like, look, we're not going to do the black man like this in this mall on this day with this Black Power shirt and this afro. And all the white people was staring at me. Y'all can keep staring. Shit, get my Pinkberry, put it in the cup. My son wants Pinkberry and strawberries and chocolate chips. Okay, get it in there and stop playing with me.
Well, so did they end up going to the next person, or did you correct the situation?
I corrected the situation, but they acted like I was being egregious by saying, "Hey, you skipped me." Right. And like I'm trying to cause a scene, like I'm trying to skip the people behind me. And it was a husband, like I don't know if it was husband and wife, but they was together. And he looking at me like he got a problem. I'm like, what's the problem? What's really? I mean, we can discuss the problem you having with with you trying to skip me.
Did you look down like? What's the problem, little sir?
What's the problem, tiny man? I'm saying, like, really, what are you talking about? But yeah, sorry. When I saw my afro, I was like,
you got triggered?
Yeah, a little bit. White people was killing me yesterday.
Jeez.
And when they realized that I wasn't the kind of black person who's gonna let you just be white all over me, then they had to adjust. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Pinkberry for hiring racist people.
jeez. Well, you said what you said, okay?
I did.
Well, it's a lot going on in the world. One of them includes, people that died and never died before. And this one right here is another unfortunate situation that we have constantly been reporting on when it comes to mass shootings.
I hate it.
And it's like a thing. It's like, I think that I remember you saying, like, I think, people just like the idea of thoughts and prayers. Yeah. Like, we're sending thoughts and prayers. We're doing, this and that. So I don't know what the full deal is, but this particular situation just happened, and at least 5 people, including 3 children. I'm sorry, y'all. At least 3 people have. I'm sorry. Let me start this over because I just got some sound in my ear that just completely interrupted me. Okay, so at least 5 people have been killed, including 3 children that were shot and killed at a private Christian school in Tennessee. And this happened this morning, as a matter of fact. So the shooter was also killed by the police, and everything unfolded at this particular school. The school is called the Covenant School of Burton Hills Boulevard in Nashville. This was reported about 10:39 a.m. Central Time, and they just the I think it's the fire department or the police department confirmed that 3 children and 2 adults from the school were pronounced dead at the hospital.
The fact that I can't even go to a private Christian school and be safe is wild. Like, the person that did the shooting went to the school, right? And my kids, I told you my kids do practice active shooter drills at the school, right? They don't even have a band, but they do practice in active shooter drills, right? And the idea that you have to send your kid to school and potentially never get them back from school because somebody thinks it's a good idea to be a fucking real person shooter at the school is like terrifying. Every time I send my kids to school, I'm a little scared, which is like re-traumatizing yourself daily. Especially if somebody who's been through violent crimes and like shooting. The idea of like sending my child somewhere where they may possibly get shot by a peer for nothing,
and then you're not there. You're not even there to try to protect them.
Right, man, and then my baby dies alone. Like I can't.
Man, it's crazy of what people do and then what they do to children. So this person allegedly attended the school somehow. I don't know the full details of it, but this school was like based off of a Baptist church, Woodmont Baptist Church. It's like 2 miles away, so they would bus the kids from the church to the school.
Okay.
And they had like 33 employees, like 8 kids in each class. And
right. So a small school, it was like ideal for teaching, right?
Right. And then 2, probably that what they thought was at least secure enough, for the kids. But like I said, allegedly the person attended the school. So so it looks like they had preschool up to 6th grade. So the shooter was a female who appeared to be a teen, armed with 2 assault rifles and a handgun. And then so a total of 6 people were killed, including the shooter. That's wild. But you know what? And we didn't talk about this in our prep meeting. But did you hear about the guy who killed his kid on FaceTime?
In front of his the mama, right? I heard stories like that. I see them, and just the headline is a little traumatic for me, so I keep rolling. But tell me about it. What happened?
Well, according to Fox 26 Houston, a mother of the toddler says that the children's father FaceTimed her while he was choking their daughter. I'm trying to figure out if I want to go to this report.
It's tough. He FaceTimed her while he was choking the life out of his own daughter.
Right. And the thing is, it's like, how traumatizing is that? Because now you trying to go through the phone to be like,
right.
What the, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's nothing you could do.
Right. And so it's just, what? I can't even, like, it really it messes my head up a lot. And I can't even, I really try to process, like, how could somebody do that to another person? How could somebody do that to a child? How could you come into a school and just murder innocent people? How could you, like, what?
I want to put this clip up because I'm going to need somebody else to explain it. Get somebody else to do it because I can't even fathom, like what that would look like. It's tough.
Hands of her own father. Fox 26's Gabby Hart has been following this story from the start, and she joins us live. So, Gabby, what did the family have to say?
Well, I can tell you it was really an emotional interview. This family had tears flowing from their faces as they recalled the moments that the suspect, which is the child's father, FaceTimed them, even forcing the mother to watch him injure her child and showing the grandfather that child's bloody and beaten body.
Her face was just covered in blood. He hit her with something really hard. And then he called me on FaceTime, and he showed me that he choked her on FaceTime as I was on there. And I said, Trey, that's your daughter. That is your daughter. Stop. That is your daughter. She loves you. I care about her. You care about her. Like, that is your daughter. And he told me, his exact words was, you only love that man, so you did this to her.
Kirsten Watson tells Fox 26 she's still numb and in shock. Around 10 o'clock Monday morning, her child's father, identified by police as 25-year-old DeAndre Flanagan, stormed into her job at Walmart in North Harris County. He had their 2-year-old daughter, Zavea Marie, who had just been dropped off at daycare, in his arms, and he began screaming at Watson.
He just wanted my phone. He's screaming at me, cursing me out, telling me, what's the passcode? Tell me the passcode or she's going to get it. And I'm telling him the passcode, and I'm telling him it over and over and over. But at the end of the day, I guess it just wasn't enough.
After he took off with Zavea in hand, police say Flanagan took deputies on a 30-mile chase. The car eventually came to a stop on Stubner Airline Drive near Veterans Memorial, where officers took Flanagan into custody uninjured. But little Zavea required CPR until Life Flight arrived. She died at the hospital.
She was such a happy baby, and I just know she's at peace.
Watson says in the week leading up to this incident, she had to contact police on 3 different occasions about Flanagan, but she was told there was nothing they could do.
The first day he took my child, like I was giving her a bath in the tub. He stormed in, and he took her out the tub. She wasn't even dressed, and he just took her out the house and drove away in a car. We've been going our separate ways. And I let him be, but he couldn't let me be. He couldn't let me be happy. He couldn't let me move on with my life.
This family now sharing their story, hoping it helps someone else.
The heaviness of that.
Yeah, I
couldn't even listen to what the daddy was about to say. I was like, nah, we're good. Nah.
Yeah, 100%. You killed your daughter because the woman you used to be with, the woman you had the baby with, doesn't want to be with you anymore. And that story is a story that's constantly happening, right? You can't even, and it's a terrible story, right? You hurt somebody else because you can't be with this woman. And I'm sorry to that family, and not thoughts and prayers and legitimately, I feel their pain.
Man, sending that mom healing energy, because that's something that she has to remember in her head for the rest of her life.
For real. And I hope she gets again, here's our therapy plug, because every week we're talking about going to therapy, and trauma like this is definitely a reason to be in it, to be able to deal with this and cope with this the rest of her life. I'm sorry that happened to her. I really am.
Did he get arrested? I wonder. I can't remember.
They said they took him into custody without any incident. He was safe. They didn't kill him.
Man, I hope they whoop his.
Yeah, I imagine that when he shows up to court, he's going to be a little bruised and battered.
And if he's not, somebody ain't doing their job. Okay,
right. You can't just be killing 2-year-olds and not be bruised and battered.
I mean, man, you are that infatuated with someone that you have to take someone else's, a child's life, someone who can't even fight you back. With her?
Yeah. Do you think it's not being able to control that person anymore?
It could be both.
Yeah, you're right. It could be both.
It could really be both because
I know like
her asking for the passcode, him asking for the passcode to the phone.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing, sir? What
right,
y'all ain't, she's like we have gone our separate ways. She said that. She's like like we weren't even together and he just couldn't deal with it.
I mean, he said you only love that man and you're doing this to her.
Like what is boy? And she's I don't know.
And he only
sending
25.
Sending that family super duper healing energy.
Please heal him. Heal.
Sending that mom.
Yes.
I hope that somehow she can remove those thoughts from her head, and then to definitely go to therapy and get the help that you need early. Because jeez, I can't even imagine. They would have had to go get me from the jail.
I wouldn't be able to do the interview. Like how was she? The fact that she was standing up, like being able to process that interview that way. I would.
Black women are black women. We
That's
do
tough.
what we do, and
so I have a question.
Sure.
Since talking about black women, I saw this post the other day about black women not calling the police on black men, right? And how it was in reference to Jonathan Majors, but they was like, oh, if it was a black woman, she wouldn't have called the police on him. And the black lady was like, that is not a flex. Like black women need to stop acting like not calling the police on black men is a flex. Because if y'all getting abused, if you getting beat, because this kind of behavior with this man and hurting, killing his baby, he didn't just start being abusive. He didn't just start being crazy when they broke up. That may be the reason why that she not with him. Like, this nigga crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if she never called the police on him, she never filed a charge on him.
But we don't know that. We don't know if she hasn't.
She hasn't. She said she did in the last.
And then too, I mean, I think. What do you think? Because like, have you been in a situation where somebody snapped, and maybe the police hadn't been called on them in previous situations?
Absolutely.
But let's say, like in your particular situation, I know for a fact the police were called. Right. I know for a fact the report was put in prior to an incident. And the police say they can't do anything.
They said they have nothing. And she said in the story as well, she said she called the police 3 times that week, the week prior, and they were saying, well, there's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do because I'm assuming because that's his daughter, he can come over and just pick her up and leave, right? Because he's not technically kidnapping the daughter.
I mean, unless there's a custody situation.
Right.
I hope that they deep dive into this and find out more. And I hope that if the police did not take the proper action, that they are held accountable.
Absolutely.
But back to your question about black women not calling the police on black men. I think that naturally black women are protective, right, of black men, right? Because we already know what happens to black men when they don't do anything. Right. So a black man could, like, let's say a black man, I don't know, selling cigarettes outside of a store.
Right. For instance,
he might get murdered. Let's say a black man allegedly has a $20 bill that doesn't look, like it's real.
Right.
He could get murdered by the police. Let's say you land in your bed sleeping.
Right. As a black man.
Or a woman.
Or say you're eating ice cream.
Let's say you minding your business and driving home in your own car. Or let's say you locked down in a pandemic, you want to go for a run.
Right.
you can get murdered by the police.
You can get murdered by the police.
So I think that black women naturally want to protect black men from getting murdered. But at the same time, sometimes, depending on the situation, we could be doing ourselves a disservice. I never had to be in a situation where I had to call the police on anybody. So, but I'm thinking like, say if I was in a situation, depending on like how, like I felt like I'm in danger. Would I call the police? Probably. If it's something I feel like can be de-escalated, I'm definitely trying to de-escalate before I call the police.
Right. I just think that a lot of times black women, at least the black women I know, have been put in situations where they're protecting the person that's hurting them. Right. Because of the very reason, this person may get killed by the police. But this man who's hurting this woman he may end up killing you. But you are still protecting him. And I just think that it's a tough thing. Because I understand like protecting each other. But I don't feel like black men ain't calling the police on black women, but they're also not protecting black women in a way where they should be felt feeling safe, like they feel safe with black men. Not all of them, not all. I don't want to say that on general because I'm not hurting black women, but.
Right. So if a black woman, let's say y'all got in a heated argument, and she like gave you one tap, are you calling the police?
No.
You just go pick her up, put her in the corner, bundle her up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna pick her up. I'm gonna fold her up. Let's go on. We gonna go on about our day, right? I'm not gonna call the police
and leave the house.
Yeah,
like,
get on out my house.
I feel like black people in general react to black people that way. Because I feel like we already like, dang, if I call the police, they might murder him. They might murder me.
Right.
I might go to jail. They might go to jail.
Right.
It's like all of these things. I wonder if white people think these things when they call the police.
I don't think the white people think these things. I think when white people call the police, they're calling the police because they're like, the police is going to help them. We're like, I'm not sure the police are going to help me.
for sure. Right. I don't know if they're going to make things worse for me. I could lose my job. I don't know if they're going to think that I did this or that, you know, so on and so forth. Well, speaking of white people calling the police, Jonathan Majors was arraigned on several assault and harassment charges on Sunday in Manhattan. According to CNN, the complaint does not name the female accuser, but claims that the defendant did strike her. I'm saying Jonathan struck her on her face with an open hand, causing substantial pain and lacerations behind her ear. And she also claimed that Jonathan put his hand on her neck, causing bruises and substantial pain as well. And Major said that he ain't got anybody got time for this. He does not agree with any of this charges and said it is completely false.
I am very on the team of innocent until proven guilty. This sounds like because it was a domestic violence situation. Is based on articles I read, it was something domestic happening. Allegedly, she saw him texting another woman and reached for his phone, and the violence ensued after that. Which kind of sounds like what we were just talking about. Like if she give you a little tap, are you gonna call the police, right? Like she snatched his phone, maybe slapped him in his face, started calling him out his name, and he was trying to get his phone back. And then they were in a hotel together, and I think they stayed separately that night. And she called the police the next day.
No, he called the police. Allegedly, he called the police.
He called on himself.
Yeah, he called the police on her.
Oh, okay.
But
and then they charged him. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Like, so why am I'm calling the police and now I'm the one going to jail because the white woman said I put my hands on her.
Right. So that's what happened. Right. And so the next day, there were 2 written statements from a woman recanting these allegations, adding that they are presenting evidence to the DA with video footage from the vehicle where this episode allegedly took place. And there was a witness testimony from the driver and others who both saw and heard the episode.
Right. It was a domestic thing. It was something small. He called the police probably trying to be proactive so he can kind of get ahead of everything. And when they saw the white woman, they was like, oh, white woman, big black famous black man, definitely a criminal. Right? Like, and it's just, that shit is tough, bro. Like, you can't even, I was just on the cover of Ebony. You know what I'm saying? I was just on the cover of Ebony last month, and now I'm getting arrested for hitting a white woman. Like, that's, the life of being black is hard. It's hard being black.
Yeah, it's hard out here in these streets. So Majors, who is 33 years old, like I said, he was arrested, and I guess they called from the apartment. So in addition to the recent high-profile roles that he's played in, we know we just recently saw him in Creed 3. Right. And then I guess he does voiceovers for the Army. So in the voiceover for the Army, they pulled the commercials immediately.
Right, they didn't even let nothing happen. Like they they pulled it. She recanted. Now what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna give it back? You're gonna start posting them again? Like it's
get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody else to do it.
So I hope that things work out positively for him, and go from there. Can you talk about Blac Chyna do we have a Blac Chyna video? No. Okay, can you talk about Blac Chyna real quick? I'm going to pause. Okay,
for sure.
Right. Go ahead.
So Blac Chyna is Angela, right? So she's going by Angela now, which is, first of all, I'm going to say I'm excited for Blac Chyna. I'm excited to see the transition she's making. She is removing her tattoo. She had a Baphomet tattoo, which is associated with the Illuminati and demonic rituals. She had that tattoo removed from her body. She's had her fillers removed, the butt shots removed. She's wearing a lot less makeup. And I think she looks happier. She seems like she's feeling better. And I'm just really excited. Anybody that's doing anything positive, I'm excited to see it. I'm happy for her. I'm grateful that she's making that transition. She stopped doing OnlyFans because her children are at an age where they can like Google her and find her, and she doesn't want to be seen that way by her children, which is really, really dope. I think the hardest part for Blac Chyna right now is having a mama like Tokyo Toni. Right? And so there's always an obstacle. Like when you're trying to get better, there's always going to be somebody who's going to keep bringing up the things that you used to do and keep talking about you like you're still that person you're trying to change from. And I think for Blac Chyna, that's her mom. It's Tokyo.
Right. So the thing is that it looks like she had her tattoos removed here in Vegas.
Oh, work. Okay.
Shout out to Vegas tattoo removal, wherever that might be. And I did listen to her. She was on Angela Yee today, Way Up with Angela Yee. And when she was on there, she was just like, she sounded like she was just so like clear and at peace. Like her voice sound clear.
Right. And that's what I mean. Like she seems like this is not like a stunt. Like this seems like really this is something that she's doing. Yeah. And I just hope that she continues.
Yeah, I hope she does. I'm sending her healing energy too, because I know that at one point I think she was, possibly on some drugs, and maybe this is part of her recovery process. Like maybe because when people go to rehab, they oftentimes like become, they get out and they're like, hey, I got to change these things about myself and be more involved with God. And she, got her, what is it? A rebirth or.
What is it? Reborn, born again.
Born again, right? She born
Salvation.
Again and got her baptism in. So.
Oh right, she did get baptized. Hallelujah,
yeah.
Jesus.
No.
I'm just saying, like
I know you are.
If she got baptized, that she washed away the sins, and she received the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're gonna have the Holy Spirit leading her through. She's trusting, that salvation is working. So I'm happy for her.
So it looks like she also has some other tattoos removed as well. So one of the smaller tattoos of Jay and Stevenson. Jay was presumably an ex.
Probably.
YBN Almighty Jay.
Okay. So
while Stevenson is the last name of Tyga.
Would you get a man's name tattooed on you?
Hell no.
Never.
No, unless his name was Renee with 2 E's.
Unless his name was Renee with 2 E's.
I did get asked to do that before by somebody I dated named Renee. Okay, I was like, yeah, I can get Renee with 2 E's.
That's not his anyway. So
technically,
it's not even technically. If you
pronounce it's the same.
It's not the same name, no. So, do you think that getting your tattoo removed, like you get somebody's name tattooed, like I have someone's name tattooed on me.
Oh, let me see.
It's on my neck.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I have the tattoo on my neck.
So now what? What happens? Because people can't even kiss you on your neck like properly.
Why not?
Okay, I was listening to something else on the Breakfast Club, right?
Okay.
Chick called in. Chick called in and was like, I got this. Dude called in and said, hey, my girl got this tattoo of her dude's name on her stomach.
Right. Above the pleasure palace.
And he's like, and I'm thinking like, dude, if it's right there, you can't even eat the box because every time you go down there, it's a dude's name there.
Right. But if she's not with homie no more, what does it matter?
She had told him long ago that she was going to get it removed.
Okay. So that's a different conversation, right? Like,
and she's like, well, I just never got around to it. Girl, if it's been 8 years, bye. And if it's been 8 years, sir, leave her. Okay. Immediately.
I don't know. I don't think that I would get it covered or removed. And And I thought,
okay, what if your new partner said, "Hey, I really feel some type of way about this."
I think we'd have to have that. We can have the conversation.
I'm asking you right now. This is the conversation. Hey,
no, I'm just saying we'd have to have that conversation at that time. But like
I'm asking you right now. The conversation is, hey.
Okay, so my reasoning for keeping
I really feel some type of way about this name that you have on your neck, and it really makes me sad and not want to kiss your neck, and I have concerns.
My tattoo makes you sad and not want to kiss my neck.
It would make me.
So I think I would explain the reason I still have it, and the reason it's not covered up is because there was a point in time in my life where I loved somebody this much, and it's not something that I am ashamed of. It's not something that I want to take back. It's not something that I want to pretend didn't happen.
You don't have to take back the love. We talking about the tattoo. Stay focused.
No, I am. I'm focused. I'm focused on the answer. But if the relationship meant enough to me, to where we can have that conversation, I probably would consider getting it covered up or change to something else. But right now, it's just not something that is a priority.
You're in a lengthy relationship with.
Yeah, a lengthy relationship probably it would probably adjust because I want to make sure that I'm in. If I see myself being with this person long term, like we've been together for a while, and it's never come up before, and they're like, hey, this is actually something that's been a problem for me the whole time. I just didn't want to say anything to you about it. And now I'm saying, hey, this is a problem, and I want to continue to be in a relationship with you.
At least it's not close to your man parts.
No, it's not close to my man parts.
Speaking of people with man parts, NLE Choppa, he out here trying to shoot his shot, child. Okay. He was on Jason Lee show, and who is from Hollywood Unlocked. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about like who he had a crush on. And he was like Megan Good. So he so Jason Lee calls Megan Good. So they were playing the game Smash or Pass, right?
Right.
And during that, her name came up, on the Smash or Pass. And he was like smashing. He got all like flustered and a little bubbly. And right. Jason Lee actually put out his phone and then called her.
Right.
And he said, I can be a preacher, all that, whatever she wants me to be. He's like, I can be whatever she wants me to be. But I'm going to play this clip courtesy of the Neighborhood Talk, because I just think it's funny how the conversation went. And you tell me your thoughts afterward, because I'm like, I wonder what she really thought and if she was going to go on the date.
All right, let's see.
Not gonna let me be great today.
There we go again. With it trying not to let us be great. Look at the off-whites though. I like it.
So it goes on, and as it goes on, she calls back, and then they end up having like a more lengthy conversation. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm just, he was like, I'm going to pray about it, but I was just maybe go send you some flowers and take you to dinner or something. He was like, but I'm going to pray about it though.
Right.
What would you say to Megan Good?
What would I say to Megan Good? I would say,
smash or pass, first of all.
Smash.
Okay.
What? I smashed new eyebrows, saying. Old eyebrows, all
new nose, old nose, all of that.
All of it. Megan absolutely smashed. I was smashed when she was on My Cousin Skeeter. Okay. back before braces. Let's just keep it 100. But I would probably try to be as gentlemanly as I could, because I know she's a grown lady. Can I take you to dinner? You want to go kart racing? You want to go to the batting cage with me or something like that? I know you probably go to really fancy dinners all the time, but like, you want to go do something? Let's go do something. Let's go dig a ditch or something. Let's do something you ain't did before.
Right. So, goodness.
That's probably what I would say.
What do you think Megan hasn't done before though? That brings up a whole different situation too.
All right. And I would need to know that. I would I would love to do something with you that, experience something new with you that you've never done before. You tell whatever, what do you want to do? I ain't never jumped off no building. You ever jumped off a building? You know what I'm saying?
I have not.
You see what I'm saying? I have not. You say, if you haven't jumped off, let's jump off a building together. I don't want to jump off no building. What do you want to do then? Just make it as ridiculous as I can, just so the conversation can keep going. Because I'm trying to get in there so she sees I'm worth talking to.
Right. Well, shout out to Megan and shout out to NLE Shopping. Maybe I don't know, maybe he pulled this one off.
Man, he might.
He might.
Worst that she can say is no. And he in a no worse off situation if she say no.
All righty. I don't know if those of you who missed out, the video, I guess, did not play properly. Was it playing, sir, or no?
It didn't play on my end, no. I wasn't able to see, no.
Damn it. All right, we'll have to edit that out. Take that out. Somebody.
Get it out of here.
Whomever. So anyway, we'll just post it on the stories on the Shady Ass T Instagram, okay? Next up, Cheryl. Miss Cheryl Lee Ralph.
Emmy winner. We got to say that. Emmy winner, Cheryl Lee Ralph.
Yeah, and so she was on Way Up with Angela Yee.
Mm-hmm.
She was talking about a situation that happened in the past that she was on set or they were in some event or something, and a guy who was a judge who was on the same network as her at that time, not Judge Mathis.
Not Judge Mathis. She made it very clear it was not Judge Mathis.
And she said she really liked Judge Mathis. It wasn't him. Okay.
Right.
And she said he came and just like stuck her, like grabbed her by the neck and like stuck his nasty tongue down her throat.
Yikes.
And, and the network at that time convinced her not to make a big deal about it because they were just about to launch both shows.
Right.
Okay. So in quote, she says, "I'm in a very public place. I was suited. I had my suit on. I was handling my business. Can you mute, sir? I was handling my business for the television show I was on at that time. He and I were on the same network." Then she goes on to say, "This man walked in, grabbed me by the back of my neck, turned me around, and rammed his nasty ass tongue down my throat. And everybody at the network saw it." And then she goes on to say they did not want any bad press around their show and did not care what happened, had just happened to me, she says. And then she goes on to say, "It's like I can think about these things. I tell you, there was one incident where it was like the third time something like this had happened to me. I thought to myself, what did I do to deserve this? Is my skirt is at my knees. I had on a sweater blouse. What made this man think that he could just come over and put his hands on my body in front? He didn't know me. He did not know me." So those were, some of her comments about that situation. The internet went wild, okay? The internet went wild, and they
as the internet does,
and said, and they predicted who they thought it was, and the internet said, that it could possibly be Joe Brown.
Right, but she never said it was Joe Brown.
She didn't. She just said it wasn't Judge Mathis.
Just said it wasn't. All she said was who it was not.
Who it was not. Let's see if I can get this particular video to play. But this was questions on Way Up with Angela Yee. We'll go see.
You didn't get into detail about it. You talk about the Me Too movement, and you even said an experience where a promoter put his hand on your leg, and that would happen at times, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and I noticed that you didn't get into detail about it, but do you feel like that's something that has had any effect on your career in any way at all, and B, that you would at some point get more into detail about? Because it is, like you said, with the Me Too movement and that happening all the time, that's a hard thing for women to even speak up about.
Hence, I didn't say a whole lot about it.
Yeah. And not detailing names or who it is, but just even the effect that has on you. Because
it's horrible.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God. It's like I can think about these things. And I tell you, there was one incident where it was like the third time something like this had happened to me. And I thought to myself, what did I do to deserve that? My skirt is at my knees. Mm-hmm. I have on a sweater blouse. What made this man think that he could just come over and put his hands on my body in front of, he didn't know me.
Right.
He did not know me. And I was in that, it passed. Years later, I was in a situation and that man walked through the door. He sat down at the table across from me. He did not remember any of this, but I had to let him know what he did that night.
Oh, so you said you confronted him.
Oh, I absolutely confronted him. He was right there.
Right.
I had to confront him about it. Do you want to know what was the shocking part? Everybody around the table was appalled that I would stand up for myself.
What?
They were appalled. They told me that I should be ashamed of myself.
What?
And why would I even bring that up? And at the dinner table.
Ciao.
And I think that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying like protecting black men and they're the ones hurting you, right? In the event that it was Judge Joe Brown, right? Where she's like, she can't even say, hey, this man hurt me. And was going to be like, well, why would you even bring that up? Why would you even say anything about that? Like, that's the first thing, like, because it happened years ago, the first thing people are going to say is why she didn't say something then. And I think the idea of someone who's never been assaulted sexually, right? Someone who's never been in a situation where they've been made to feel like a victim or made to feel out of control of their own bodies and like it belongs to somebody else is an easy thing to say. Why didn't you just say something then? But the helplessness of that feeling, the
then
fear of
your
that
career,
right?
know?
Exactly. There's your career. There is no one's going to believe me. They're going to think I'm trying to damage this man because his career and his image and his reputation is more important than hers is, right? He's more valuable in this situation, right? And the person who's being assaulted is not valuable. So here's another thing that makes you feel worthless. Like I might as well not even say anything when it happens.
Right. So Judge Brown denies his that he was responsible for any of this, and he goes to Twitter and then he goes on a show, I believe, and says some things. These are the quotes: "There's false rumors being spread that I mistreated a certain lady 25 years ago. I categorically deny both of the accusations and acquaintance with the lady. Those rumors started with certain identified parties and spread. They ought cease and desist." I wish I could read it like him. or contemplate a defamation action. Okay. That's what he tweeted on March 24th. Then he goes on to say there's to say more about it. My thing is that how you know when?
Right.
How you know when it happened?
When it happened if you don't know her.
Sir, how you know?
How does he know?
She didn't say.
She didn't say when or whom. She said a thing happened to me in a room.
And so he's going based off of what the internet is saying. And all we're doing right now is commenting off of what the internet said and then how Judge Joe Brown responded. There's also allegations that this is coming up because he's running for mayor.
Right, of Memphis, right?
So what do they think? They paid Cheryl to out this story when it's written in her book. I'm pretty sure. I don't just write a book and then I'm gonna put it out next week. Like that's not really how books go. Right. Okay, you have to follow through with publishing and things like that, proofreading, and it's a whole process.
Right.
So do I personally believe that she put this out for that reason? Absolutely not.
I think that there's this idea that black men who have some level of status are all being attacked by this shadow government. And anytime they're trying to do anything good, anything they've done bad in their past, it gets brought up. But like it doesn't just happen. It does, but it doesn't just happen.
Let's not act like
Hold on. It doesn't just happen to black men though. Like anybody that's in politics, anybody that's they're going to pull up anything that you've done in your past, right? And if you've sexually assaulted somebody in your past, if you've stolen money from somebody in your past, if you've done something
in politics, but this also happens to black men in entertainment. Mm-hmm. It happens more so to black men, period. But it also happens to black men in entertainment, black men who are in sports, black men who are in media, so on and so forth. It comes up more often for black men in those realms because they're black. Like let's call a thing a thing. Like
right, but I'm saying, but if the men aren't doing the things, right?
Yeah,
what
but
is there to talk about?
But how many times have we been in situations where, you know, white woman has said, "Hey, this guy did this." We just talked about a story that could possibly be the same type of scenario.
Mm-hmm.
That this person has falsely accused them, and now the story is out there. They lost all types of deals and so on and so forth, kicked out of the NFL and so on and so forth, put in prison. Like literally, this happens definitely more to us. Mm-hmm. It just so happens that he has a political stint, but you know, I don't think that this situation is that case.
Yeah, I mean, I know that situation happens. I don't think that's happening to Judge Joe Brown, but I hear you. I really do. And I don't know. It's one of those, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Black people we hear this like, oh, well, this happens to white people and this doesn't happen to black people. And I don't know if that is like a thing that I care about enough to like really like be invested in it. Because if you are doing something messed up to somebody, whether you're black or white, it shouldn't go unsaid. No matter what your status is, but false accusations. Yeah, false accusations absolutely
come to black men more often.
Yeah, yes. I agree with that.
Yeah, and I mean, we could talk about him too. We could talk about a whole lot of situations where black men were drugged around, hung because somebody's white wife or daughter decided because they were in love with this person, and then they got caught, and then they're like, oh shit, I gotta snitch on him to save me. Okay,
right.
So there's couple of things that he retweeted, some quotes that he retweeted. One of them includes, "She a lying ass witch." Retweet.
She's a lying ass. She did play a witch in a movie though one time. She did. She played a Jamaican witch in a movie. I can't even think of the name of the movie, but she was like a witch in Hollywood, and she helped people in Hollywood be famous. And she did. I can't remember the name of the movie, but I'm gonna find it. But she did play a witch in a movie.
And
she was on trial.
Another quote that he retweeted was, "How convenient that the Me Too pops up out of nowhere when you're running for office."
Judge Joe Brown.
Then another tweet. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm listening. I'll say
another tweet says, "Then she needs to tell who assaulted her and shut up." I can't. Wait, you know what?
How's she gonna tell and then shut up? Tell me who it did. Tell me who did it and then shut up.
Quotes on him, child.
Not tell me who did it and then shut up. Like that's tough. That's tough.
Speaking of people out here doing stuff and telling them to shut up, child, what's going on with Soulja Boy?
Girl. So, you've heard the game Would You Rather?
Yes.
Right? You've played that game before, I'm sure.
I have. Okay. Well, no, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So they went out. Somebody got their phone and their camera, and they went out to the world in New Jersey and was asked a bunch of women, would you rather $250 in food stamps or a date with Soulja Boy? And the answers, I don't know if they were shocking, but the ladies were very, very interested in $250 worth of food stamps. And Soulja Boy was not pleased with with that response. But yeah, it was all of them it was one lady, she was my favorite, and she was like, I don't know, I would take $250 worth of food stamps. I don't know who Soulja Boy is.
Okay, let me ask you, Soulja Boy or $250 worth of food stamps?
Oh, $250 worth of food stamps.
You don't think Soulja splurge and you end up getting more than $250?
Well, no, it's not. It has nothing to do with him not splurging. Is that I don't think we'd have anything to talk about. I think it'd be a lot about talking about Soulja and like how he was the first person to ever do anything. And like
I feel like I'm not entertainment. Like that's the character that he plays.
Yeah.
Drake. That's the character. Anyway, Soulja Boy had a whole lot to say, child. He had some responses to all of that.
Y'all gonna never make it out the hood. Just gonna die broke. I wouldn't have dinner with y'all infested anyway. I would not have dinner with no New Jersey anyway. I would not have dinner with no crackheads looking anyway. Y'all could not be in the same room with me. Gonna die in the hood. Y'all gonna die broke. Y'all ain't gonna never touch $1 million. Y'all ain't gonna never touch 30 million. Y'all ain't gonna never touch 100K in a day. You gonna die broke. You lived your whole life broke. You ain't gonna never be.
All right. It looked like he got some new teeth. What's your thoughts?
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, those teeth look brand new. And like, I was listening to him talk about everybody being broke in New Jersey and they gonna die. I'm like, but damn, those teeth are brand
and they kind of large too. Like they extra large. Anyway, that's what Soulja had to say, child.
Would you be offended if somebody chose food stamps over dinner with you?
No.
Yeah, I mean, that's their choice, right?
Yeah, like whatever.
The one girl said she can make some fettuccine Alfredo.
I probably wouldn't choose it. I would probably just go and hang out with Soulja Boy just for the entertainment of it all.
Okay. For the
like that's $250 worth of entertainment.
T. I mean, it's always like I feel like my life is a choose your own adventure book anyway, and so I say $50 in food stamp like because it's funny, but like legitimately, if they was like, look, dinner with Soulja Boy, this food stamp card, I'd be like, take me to Soulja Boy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's see where this night goes.
Right. So a couple things going on. Logic the rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Look like the internet been bringing him down, child. Okay. He's being bullied by the internet because they say that he's white passing, so he shouldn't be out here saying the N-word.
But he half black though.
I said
he
what
had a
the
black
internet
daddy,
said.
right?
I said what the internet said. A black daddy who was unfortunately a crackhead. This is Logic, y'all, who don't know who Logic is.
Right. He does look like a Chad or or Brett or a Carson.
Not a Logic?
Not a Logic.
What is his real name? Let's see if his name really Chad, child. I'm about to.
It's gonna be Carson or something like that. It's gonna be Rivers. He does look like that. Chet. He does look
Sir
a little bit
Robert Bryson.
His name is what?
His name is Sir.
His name is not Sir.
His name is Sir Robert Bryson.
He must have been knighted or something.
He's not knighted. That's what his daddy or his mama added to his name. Sir.
The Sir? Work. I'm still the original.
Wait, let's
100%.
see. Wait, let's see when he was born.
100% the original.
You got him just by a couple years though.
Yeah, I got him now. Like I be trying to tell people I'm really the original one. Everybody else named Sir legitimately was following me. So live your life. Even the singer Sir is like I think a year younger than me, maybe 2 years younger than me. I'm like, I'm thank you. You're welcome for the inspiration.
This is one of the tweets from the internet. It says, Logic just said the N-word in 4K. This is a dark day.
Is that satire, a dark day because he passing his wife? Because I'm really like...
somebody else said his daddy's jeans didn't stand a chance. Somebody else says, why is he forcing the necessity to say the N-word? What's the obsession for? That's the white about him in the first place.
Why he can't just say like Drake say the N-word all the time?
He said because it's only white people who are obsessed with getting the opportunity to say to say the N-word.
But he not white though. Like that's like I think that's crazy.
But the thing is, like, we don't debate probably because we don't debate about if we're gonna say the N-word.
Right. No, we don't.
We just go either say the N-word or we're not gonna say the N-word. Like it's
right.
We're not gonna be like, I get the right to say the N-word because I am 35% Nigerian or something. Like, you know what I mean?
Right,
like
right.
We're not having those types of conversations. And I think that because he is biracial, he's probably arguing with himself about it. And then the internet is arguing with him about it as well.
Don't let the internet bring you down, Logic. If you want to say the N-word.
Another tweet says it's something about proving that you can say the N-word that means you shouldn't say the N-word.
Man,
they're going in on him, child.
That's tough. Like, I don't even. Why are we still having a conversation about who can and cannot say the N-word?
Wait, hold on. One of the tweets says, never seen a race so pressed to say the N-word. Your daddy barely black, sir.
Not his... Barely black?
Barely black.
Barely black? Like, what does barely black mean?
Maybe his dad's biracial?
So he's only a quarter black? So when you start breaking it down by measurements...
The internet says he black.
Well, the one drop rule says he's black. You know
the internet doesn't know anything about the one drop rule. You were born in the 70s and the 80s and the 60s. You're using terms from the 60s, sir. Okay.
I'm using terms from the 1860s. But yeah, I mean, like, if my understanding is you are what your daddy is, right? Is so if your daddy black, you black, right?
So if your
daddy
mom was
Muslim,
black,
you a Muslim.
If your mom's black, you're not black.
I don't know. Ask T and Tamara.
one and one, half and
right,
half.
There you go. They half and half. That one of them is white and one of them not.
Speaking of people saying the N-word, who barely said the N-word, and y'all need to give this lady her damn job back, okay? This lady here, right? She on the internet. She's on the news, minding her damn business, okay? And then here y'all go, talking about her saying for shizzle my nizzle.
Minding her news anchor business, being funny in the morning. Oh, my for shizzle my nizzle? Like, she don't know what that mean. She ain't at the house researching my nizzle.
Or she been watching Martha Stewart, and Martha Stewart said it.
T.
And we all know Martha. Martha got street credit and all, but
right.
And she is Snoop Dogg's friend.
Is, and she began high with Snoop.
So if you guys have missed this story,
does getting high with Snoop mean you can say the N-word?
I don't think she says the N-word. She says for shizzle my nizzle. Okay. So this is a backstory. Mississippi news anchor and meteorologist has been off of air since quoting this popular Snoop Dogg phrase, "For shizzle my nizzle." Okay, and we all know she's white based off of the picture that I just put up. I mean, we don't know if she's all white. She could be Logic white. Anyway, she made a comment during the broadcast earlier this month while discussing the new release from the rapper's wine collection.
Word?
You even talking about Snoop?
Right. She was talking. Come on, man.
When the colleague joked about Bassett getting a tattoo of the rapper like Martha Stewart did in a recent commercial, which was fake, by the way. Martha Stewart didn't really get a tattoo of Snoop Dogg. Anyway, she says, "Fo shizzle my nizzle," in the phrase that include the slang for the N-word. Although the station has not commented publicly about the matter, they didn't let her go, child. She gone.
Now she giving Snoop press for his wine. I haven't tried his wine yet. I heard it was good though.
I tried it at this Lee's wine tasting event a few months ago at Thomas and Mack, and it was very good. It's strong as a mofo though. It's the liquor count or whatever, the percentages, they high.
They almost hard liquor.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I want to give it a try. It looks good. I like the bottles. I like the marketing for it. But like, I'm talking about a rapper's wine. I'm gonna use his quote. Like that's his, like that's his words, right? Like we're talking about Snoop.
Right. So
so it could be a quote.
She did go to the internet or wherever she went to make a comment about the insensitive comments based off of what the news says. She says, "I used a term that was offensive to many in our audience and to my coworkers here at WLBT. Though not intentional, I now understand how my comment was both insensitive and hurtful," she said in the statement that she released, that was released by the station. What y'all doing? You know what?
Justice for this white woman.
I'm giving you the fist and everything, ma'am.
Right. She didn't do nothing wrong.
Get this lady her job back. WLBT. I think I'm gonna reach out to them.
Yeah, please. Cause what?
Give
what is
this lady her job back.
Please.
She alright. She cool.
Ain't nobody offended.
Not now, one of us. Not now.
Maybe because it was in Mississippi. They was like, "Look, we already in Mississippi."
We haven't heard one issue from black people. I ain't heard one black person say like, "Yeah, let her go."
Yeah, I was laughing.
Yeah, because I mean, she was just It was just she was just trying to be funny, child.
It might have
she
been
just
a bad
didn't
joke.
realize
Right, a bad
that
joke shouldn't get you
it
fired.
was what it was. Real quick before we go, those of you who have been under a rock, the Brat is having a baby, and I guess she had a gender reveal. What's your thoughts, sir? She did. Well, this is the word right here.
Y'all. Now, as you know, the Brat is pregnant. You know, she's due any week now. So today, the Brat and Judy had a huge gender reveal. So let's check it out and let's see what they having.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So it's a boy, y'all. It's a boy. If you didn't get that, it's a boy.
Congratulations to the Brat.
Yeah, congratulations. I'm still trying to process through this, the Brat's pregnancy situation, only because of the questions that she asks sometimes on the internet with her wife. She's like, she was like, do I need to drink more milk so I can get milk?
That couldn't be it. That's I mean, that's a real question that people ask, right? Like,
no,
do I drink more? It is. It's
women do not ask that. Men might ask that.
No, it's
you know what? Never mind. Okay.
No, it's in the like what to expect when you're expecting, or like frequently asked questions about like breastfeeding, just drinking more milk. It's a myth, right? It's a wives' tale. And so, you know, if you hear it, someone tells you, somebody old might have told you, girl, you got to drink more milk. Like, I remember one time, my wife was breastfeeding. They said to stop the milk, you got to squirt the milk on a brick and put it in the oven, and that'll dry up the breast milk, so you don't have to feed them. I'm just telling you, it's all kinds of crazy wives' tales. So if you hear something, you're like, man, this is crazy. Have y'all ever heard this? You know, you might just be asking just to make sure it's, because sometimes shit be crazy, but it be real. You know, so you got to ask.
Well, if and when I go through that particular situation, I guess I'll hear about all these wives' tales, and maybe I'll have my own ridiculous questions as well. So
you will. You'll be like, is this supposed to taste like? Is this soap supposed to taste like deodorant? Be like, why are you eating soap?
I'm not eating soap.
I'm not
eating soap.
You might.
Listen, although we had a cousin who used to eat soap as a kid, and then had to, during pregnancy, eat ice and smell soap at the same time.
See what I'm saying?
Maybe butter, but I can't eat butter and be pregnant. I did used to eat butter sticks when I was a kid, like it was popsicle. But
that's what I'm like. You gonna get pregnant and be like, you know what? This butter and this
I can't
dirt
eat butter
together.
Though. I can't. I wouldn't be able to eat it.
You might. Your body's changing when you're pregnant.
I know, but I'm not gonna eat butter for a child that's in a stick of butter for a child that's in my belly. Absolutely not. I might even turn around and be vegan the whole damn pregnancy. It's gonna be tough. It'll be tough for somebody, and he better get it together. Somebody. I know that's right. Somebody will have to do it, y'all.
Somebody get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody else to do it. Anything else before we go?
No, listen, I think we didn't empty the pot, man.
The teapot is runneth over. Okay, we'll runneth over. Sir, where can the people find you on social media?
Twitter, IG, the Sir Armstrong. Facebook, Sir Armstrong.
All right. You can find me on every single social media platform at eCarice. That's ECARRICE. Sir, where can they watch us, listen to us next?
They can Twitch, Twitter, Apple Podcasts. We on Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere fine podcasts are sold. Anywhere you listen to your fine podcast, that's where we are. Hit that rewind button, hit that share button, get these
and follow
views
our
up.
podcast pages as well.
Absolutely.
Like follow our podcast pages. We're trying to get our numbers
Turn
up.
on the notifications.
Yes, so that way you can just play it over and over. You're at work throughout the day. Press
share
play.
it with your friends, right?
Exactly.
Put it in your work. Put it in your work PowerPoints. Use it as audio.
It might be a little risky. You might be like
right,
old girl from WLBT. You know,
right. Make us a sound on TikTok. All of that.
All of that. All right. Well, listen, thank y'all so much for tuning in each and every week to the Shady Ass Tea. We'll see y'all next week.
See you next week.
Bye, y'all.